Pokemon Go was spawned from an April Fool's Day prank. Google added the ability to catch Pokemon in their Maps application for a single day. This was so well received that Nintendo decided to create an entire application completely dedicated to catching Pokemon out in the real world. After 2 years of development, Niantic, the developer of Pokemon Go, released the application to an almost ravenous public. Now, there were problems whenever the application first launched. The servers struggled to stay active for more than 10 minutes at a time. Were the developers unprepared? Well, of course they weren't, but they weren't expecting it to be as big as it was. Eventually, they got things running smoothly, and everybody was having a lot of fun. Despite the problem that players were having, they still went out and met other players. They immediately started bonding over a mutual love of Pokemon. I've reached out to some of the people I've met in my own adventures and brought them in to ask them about their experiences over the months that the app has been active. Pokemon Go was highly anticipated from the moment it was first announced. Many players like myself played the original games before the app was ever a thought. Is that how you gained interest, or was there something else that attracted you to it?
Well, I did used to play the originals. I only played to Red, Silver, Platinum. I did not play the Blue. I played several, but not as much as other people.
So I had a definite interest in Pokemon, and someone was a coworker. They were playing it, and I was a little skeptical at first because I didn't know if it was going to be a great game, but after a couple days, I caved in.
I grew up spending like my last on Pokemon, like on Christmas and stuff. Like, I remember my first Pokemon that I got was actually Leaf Green, and like a few weeks later I ended up getting like Fire Red, and then I just loved it. It was like $35 and that's like all I had, so I thought that was a lot of money.
I've been playing Pokemon since I was old enough to hold a Game Boy. The first ones I received, I got both of them at the same time, Fire Red, Leaf Green. I've always preferred red as a color, so I started with that one. Loved all the Pokemon, played Leaf Green. I was a little disappointed since it's the same game, different Pokemon.
A lot of people were experiencing issues with the game whenever it first came out. The most prominent problem being the servers couldn't handle the rapid influx of players. Did that do anything to make you think less of the game? Or were you just excited to get out and play, even if it meant you had to sit and wait from time to time?
Both, because my excitement levels were really high for the game at the time, and the server downtime, it left me even more excited waiting for it to come back up so I can go out and train again.
Honestly, it made me more excited to play, because when they told me like the servers were crashing because there was too much influx of people, and I was just like, wow, that's amazing. I didn't feel like I was just out there, alone. I felt like I was living my childhood.
When the server first started crashing, we were already out at the park, so there's no point to go home, so we just started talking to other people and collectively complaining about the issues, which was oddly a great bonding experience. And the server was never down for too long. I mean, there were those occasional times where it was down for a couple hours, but for the most part, it would crash for like a minute or two and come back. So you just do another round of the park, or go find somewhere to get a drink. And
A tremendous amount of social connections has come from playing this game. Many have even said that their autistic children have been able to bond with other kids their age from the excitement generated by using the app. What kind of social connections have you made while playing, and do you still keep in contact with any of these people?
So I guess social-wise, it was very interesting to see how many people were out there. But I would never think of ever meeting you guys outside of the Pokemon world.
My coworkers and I got pretty close playing this game. In fact, whenever it came out, the whole IT department was playing, and it became an issue throughout the whole company. Even the CIO started playing, so I was able to make a connection with the CIO with that. And a funny story happened. There was a Blastoise in the lobby, and right after I clocked in and went up to my desk, and then after someone said that there was a Blastoise down there, like I'd say probably 20 people rushed down to go catch it.
oh yeah, I made tons of friends playing this game, and I'm typically a little socially anxious. I don't really approach people unless there's some sort of common ground that I can use as a bridge. So with Pokemon Go, it was great because you could just look around and they're playing, and you could basically approach anyone about the game.
A lot of users were upset by the tracking system bug and its eventual removal from the game altogether. There were some external websites that added functionality back in, but they were eventually shut down. How did you react to these problems, and did you continue playing when they started removing features with no guarantee that they would be re-implemented?
I never used those programs, the external programs. I never cared too much about them. I prefer the way it was. No, I mean, the whole purpose of the game was to go out there, find it, not use something to help you find it. No, walk around, get some exercise, meet some more people.
Well, first they removed the steps, which I didn't hate it too much. It really did make the experience worse. Then the tracker came out, which I wasn't a big fan of, but it was at least something. Then they removed that, and I think that was the final straw. It showed that they cared more about releasing their game to more people instead of making sure the game was full and complete, and then they disenfranchised their users.
I honestly, I love the original thought of like the tracking system and like how it worked. I loved like the way it ran with the footprints and everything. So when they did get rid of it, it kind of like bugged me a little bit, and all the bugs that were going on about like not knowing where certain Pokemon were, that was really bothersome. But I mean, as a whole, I didn't like try to let it affect me, just because of how much I liked the game in general, and like just being out with my friends. Like even if we didn't know where the Pokemon were, I knew we were bound to find some, and we were just having fun along the way. So I mean, I just tried not to let it affect me.
The app has been active for several months now, and some people have stopped playing while others are more passionate than when it started. Has the game worn thin for you, or do you still go out hunting when you can?
To be honest, we haven't, my girlfriend and I, haven't really gone back to playing that much. You know, after all the changes, the major bugs and everything, it's just, I mean, yeah, we like Pokemon, but we just kind of lost interest.
It's worn thin. I don't really go out hunting anymore. I'd say good came out of it though, because the world was exposed to augmented reality in a way that hasn't before. So it sets a starting point for future games to come out.
I do like open it up time to time just to see what Pokemon are around me, and just to like check up on the updates, because like honestly, if they do have like a good update in it, then I probably would go back and like, you know, try it out again. But as of like right now, I just log on just to check it out and see, you know, what's going on and what's happening, honestly.
The app has worn thin on me for sure. I still love Pokemon and the franchise, but I'm hoping that when Gen 2 is released, that they'll add some of the features that I was looking for originally.
So that's what players have been thinking about this groundbreaking app. But what will become of it in the months to come? Generation 2 will probably see a massive return of players, but with more and more features being removed, will that be enough for Niantic to keep them?